gang, so I'm back with another video, and today I'm doing the video that y'all requested on Instagram. And y'all requested this video like a whole week ago, but I was like debating if I wanted to make it or not, cause like I still know these people that this story is about, and it's kind of awkward, you know, to just be talking about people you still know. But whatever, you know, this is a story that happened to me, so I guess I'm gonna just share it with you. And this is a story of my toxic relationship in high school.
Oh my God! Wow!
I know, guys, it's crazy. Well, you don't know how crazy it is yet, but it's crazy. And I'm sure we all had some relationships that, you know, were crazy. Probably not like this, because I don't know, this was a little weird. It involves a lot of stuff, but I don't even want to get into the story, and I don't even know where to start. I don't. Y'all, if you're watching this right now and you're new to my channel, you better subscribe, because I'm about to tell y'all a part of my life that I forgot for like a long time, and then I just thought about it when people were asking me to make this video. So yeah, alright, so I'm gonna just go ahead and start. So this all started, I'm gonna start from the beginning, because even how it started is like bad as hell. Bad. I should have knew from the beginning. Just bad as hell. Bad, 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 bad. So from the beginning, if you hear like a noise, that's like the air, the fan, or whatever in the background, because I'm upstairs, so it gets a little hot up here. But so it started like, I want to say like the end of my sophomore year, right? I was in like this advanced English class. If my grandma could stop talking. But I was in this advanced English class, and I was at the time with some guy. I'm gonna call him, man, I should have thought of names beforehand. I'm gonna call him Bob, right? So I was with Bob at the time or whatever, and this was my sophomore year, and Bob was cool, but I always, like, especially in high school, was going through like a lot of stuff at home, like a lot of stuff. Like, I don't even know how I went to high school every day, because I was just going through so much at home. But I guess that could be for another video. I was with Bob, and Bob was cool or whatever, but I don't know, just me and Bob were not, you know, like sometimes people you're with, you guys don't connect like intellectually or something like that. That might sound dumb, but that's really how it was. Like, I would say things and I would feel like he wouldn't really understand like how I really felt when I said it. This is probably gonna have to be a 2-part video, because I already know it's gonna be long as hell, because I haven't even got into anything. But I was with Bob or whatever, and then I had this friend. She became like my really close friend. I'ma call her, let's call her Sadie, right? So Sadie, me and Sadie, I was gonna say how we knew each other, but if I said how we knew each other, everyone would probably know exactly who I'm talking about. But my friend Sadie had this boyfriend named, let's call him Joe, like average Joe, whatever, you know, because he's gonna be a big part of the story. But she had a boyfriend named Joe, right? And it was like one of her first boyfriends, whatever, and she really liked him a lot, and she would like, but she like wasn't really expressive that much about her feelings, but she liked him. Joe was in my English class, so he sat next to me in my English class, and we like started becoming friends, because he was, you know, the boyfriend of my really close friend. And like we sat next to each other and like we had to do work, and like that class you did like a lot of discussions and like stuff like that, so we would talk like in the class about the books we were reading or whatever the subject was. So we became friends, and I thought he was cool, and that was her boyfriend, so I was like, cool. And obviously just that was her boyfriend, right? He was cool though. He started becoming my friend. So at over like sophomore, I think, break, like summer break, I was still with Bob, and Sadie was still with Joe, but they were like, I guess, having problems or something. I don't really know, but he would text me like about their problems or whatever for some reason, and like I wouldn't respond sometimes, but sometimes I would be like, okay, that's my friend, and I know she likes him because she would text me sometimes too, stuff. So I would like be like, oh, you know, you guys will fix it, da 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 da, just talk to him normal, right? But throughout the summer, my family problems started getting worse, and I didn't have like that many friends in high school. Like, I have anxiety, so I'm very shy and I don't like to talk a lot, and I don't know, my school was very weird, but I didn't have too many friends. And the friends I did have, I didn't feel like I could tell them everything that was going on in my family. But just know I did tell Sadie something, my friend, or I don't know if I told her what had happened or she had witnessed it happen when she was at my house. But it was like altercation between me and someone in my family, and I kept things like that really private, right? So just know she's seen something. I don't know if it was over the summer, when it was, right? So she had seen something going on in my family, and then Joe and her were also having problems, so he would message me like, oh, this and that, and I'll just be like, okay, well, you guys will be cool, and then sometimes I wouldn't respond. But we were going into like our junior year, and then we had like these assignments to do, so we were both in like advanced classes, me and Joe, but not Sadie. And so he like messaged me or text me about stuff like that. So I figured we were friends, and I still had my boyfriend at the time, which was Bob or whatever. So I would just message him like casually about like stuff. But then he started telling me throughout the summer like stuff that was like very personal, like about his family. And for some reason, I don't know if he was telling Sadie too or what was going on, but he was telling me like things really personal about his family, right? And then at the time, I didn't really have like too many friends, like I said, and not too many people to talk to. So and I didn't feel like I can really tell people too much, and there wasn't really that many people like texting me as often as Joe or whatever. So there wasn't anyone texting me as often as Joe, none of my close friends, anything like that. So he was telling me stuff really personal, and I took it as a friendship. And after a while, he started telling me things, and I thought I could tell him some things because we got pretty close. We had known each other like over the school year, whatever. So I had started telling him things about myself too, and then it was cool. Like, it was a really good, strong friendship that was starting to build. Like, we were into like some of the same things. Like, we were both pretty smart, and like we were into like, I don't know, weird smart people shit. He was like kind of like a nerd or whatever, but I didn't think nothing of it, whatever. So then we start school junior year, and then I have even more problems going on, and I'm just, trying to get through it or whatever. And then Sadie and Joe break up. I don't know why they broke up. I have no idea. I forgot. They probably told me, but this was my junior year and I'm 21 now, so whatever. No one even cares, but y'all want to hear the story, so I'm telling it to the best of my ability. You heard me? Okay. So they break up for whatever reason, right? And then Sadie's my friend, so she's all telling me when we're back at school. And then she also has this other friend. I'm gonna call her, I almost said something close to her name. I'm gonna call her Jasmine. Let's call her Jasmine, right? So Sadie and Jasmine. Jasmine was Sadie's other really close friend. So I was one of her close friends. And then Jasmine was another one of her really close friends. Like the same level of friendship we are, right? So Sadie told me, and she was telling Jasmine like the story of things that have happened. Not things that have happened, of like that they broke up and that she's upset and stuff like that, right? So she's telling us, and I didn't like Jasmine at the time.
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
She was like in like advanced classes like me, but she was like to the extreme. Like, I don't know. Let's just say, but she was, at first I tried to be like really nice to her. Like I was trying to be nice even though she's not my type of person, whatever. But still, like, yeah, it just didn't work between me and her. But we had this mutual friend, so sometimes we would talk, whatever. So, she was telling us, and I guess over the summer, I don't know who or how, but someone told Sadie that me and Joe were like flirting, we're talking all summer, yada yada yada, right? So Sadie has been like skeptical of me this whole time, but I've been like sending her messages like he's been asking me about you, like, and I even told her like he would tell me some stuff like about his family. See that I would tell him some stuff, but like friendship stuff, right? Like really friendship stuff. But oh, I forgot to tell y'all, there would be some weird shit though. I don't know why I didn't see the signs, but some weird shit that would happen when we were in the English class together. Like he would like grab my leg sometimes, or like be like, oh, you look really beautiful today. But I don't know why, like there's so much going on at the time, I literally blocked that all out. I don't know, I thought maybe he was friendly or like something, because he was really friendly, but we'll figure out why later. But so he was weird, right? So then they broke up. And then, so Sadie was suspicious of me, and she would tell Jasmine everything, like, oh, I don't know, whatever she felt, I guess. So then Jasmine, I guess, started having this conspiracy where she really, really thought we were talking, right? So I remember it was one day after school, and we were talking or whatever, me, Sadie, and Jasmine. And Jasmine's like, well, I don't remember what it was about, but he had, or something like that. But Jasmine goes, okay, well, since you, which is me, and Joe are friends, you right now go and ask him whatever it was, I don't know, what he lied about. And I'm gonna call you, and we're gonna have the phone on speaker so we could hear y'all's conversation. So she was really trying to be on some like FBI shit. Like she wanted me to go walk over there, talk to him, call her on my phone, and just hold it so she could like hear what we talking about, right? But at the time, once Joe broke up with Sadie, he started texting me like weird stuff, like, but we were friends, so I didn't want to like completely stop talking to him, because I didn't really have no one else to talk about certain things, and I had already told him like a lot of stuff, trust me, like everything. So I didn't want to just not be his friend anymore, but he would text me stuff like, oh, well, I think we should be together, like I think we would work out better, like weird stuff, right? But that was my really good friend at the time, and I didn't have too many really good friends, especially at that school. I think she was my only really good friend, and then that friend group was my only group of friends, like, that I would hang out with at lunch and stuff. So I would just like ignore it, like brush it off, yeah, whatever. But I figured he would talk to someone else, the situation would get blown over, or he would maybe get back together and fix things, because it seemed like maybe that's what was gonna happen. Text me weird stuff, like I said. So I did not want to go over there to talk to him and put it on speaker, because I thought maybe when I did that, he would start saying things like that he was saying in the messages, and that they would hear and be suspicious of me. So I was like worried about the whole thing. So I was kind of like iffy about it, trying to like hold off. I don't remember what I said, but I was just like trying to hold off, like, I don't know if that's like the way to do things, whatever. But it seemed like they keep growing more and more suspicious of me, because I didn't want to do that, which makes sense. So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go do that. So I walk over there, and he's in front of like one of the buildings in school, Joe is, right? And all of a sudden, I'm talking to him about Sadie, and then he starts saying things like in the messages, like, why are you talking to me about Sadie, like, when we've been texting this whole time? Like, as if like we really had this plan to like really be together, right? Which wasn't necessarily my plan at the time at all, because I was with Bob, and like I was like, what the hell? I was just vulnerable at the time, guys, okay? So he starts saying stuff like that, and I panic. So I hang up the phone, which is probably stupid as fuck. So they see me hang up the phone or whatever, right? So he's talking to me, and he walks me like by this building, and he keeps talking. He's like, what about, like, why are you talking about Sadie, blah blah, you already know what's going on. And I'm kind of just like, yeah, trying to like move on with the conversation so I could go back and like maybe try to somehow fix things with my friend and try to explain. But I didn't even know what I was doing at the time. Like I said, I was already going through a lot, so it was just whatever, right? So then he's talking to me, and all of a sudden, well, I kind of expected it by what he was saying and like some of the messages. And in the messages, like, when he would say things, I wouldn't be like, oh, if you don't, I don't want to talk to you like that. I would just be like, oh, haha, that's nice, but that's not what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were with Sadie, whatever, right? It wouldn't be like I would even really try. So I wasn't necessarily expecting that right at that moment. So he kissed me.
I can't believe that there are people that would do something like this. It's so sick and twisted.
Right? And when he kissed me, I turned like this, bro. Just, right? And walking by, I can't freaking lost game, is Sadie and Jasmine, right? But when I look over there, I don't know 100% if she's seeing what happened, right? I don't know 100%, but I'm like 80%. Like, I'm like, she had to have seen that, because she's walking by, like. So I'm like freaking out, right? So I immediately just like leave. I don't know, get on the bus and go home, or whatever I did to go home. And I text Sadie. I text Sadie, and I'm just like, I don't even remember what I said, but I try to act like nothing happened, bro, because I was just like, this is crazy, like, this is some backstabbing shit. I was friends with Sadie for like 2 years now, and we were on the same like team. No, I have to cut that part out. Damn it. We were like really good friends. Like, I've been to her house, stayed the night at her house and stuff like that. And so she was like my really good friend. So I was like, damn, this is some backstabbing shit. And that was my only friend group. So I was like, man, school from now on is about to be horrible, right? So the next day, I text her, and she texts me back like, oh, like, I don't know, it was like very passive aggressive. I don't remember, but just know that by the messages, I knew that she seen it. She was all like, well, everything's true. Like, she basically thought that was it, that I was trying to take her boyfriend, and the whole time I'm just not a real friend. I was just trying to take her boyfriend. But the whole time, like, I've been a really good friend to her. She's been a really good friend to me, but I've been a really good friend to her. Like, we were really, really, like, two peas in a pod, you know? And I'm still friends with her today, and she's amazing. But this is just a story that happened, and it's not about her, it's about Joe. So, love Sadie till this day. But, so Joe caused this whole thing between us, right? So I really didn't have no friends at this point at my school. I maybe have friends on my soccer team or something, but no friends at my school because all my friend group that I hang around hated me. Well, I had, like, you know, some friends, but my whole friend group, like, was just talking shit about me now. Like, Skylar's out here with Joe. So everyone just knew now. And I was just like, what the F? Like, that's not even what the freak I was trying to have happen. Until, okay, this is some, like, petty stuff. But just know I was going through so much, okay? But it backfired on me. It backfired on me at the end. So, you know, whatever. I got my payback, blah, blah, blah. Don't say mean shit in the comments. Got my payback, whatever. So, I go back to school, and that whole friend group, I can't hang out with them anymore. I have literally no one to hang out with, right? So I'm, like, just trying to hang out with, like, there's this one other girl in the group who I, like, started to become friends with, and I could, like, kind of talk to her, but I don't remember who told me. But it was someone from that group told me that about the situation that had happened with the altercation between me and my family. You know that private thing that I was talking about earlier in the story, where I was like, something happened between me and my family that was very personal, and Sadie seen it? Yeah. So I guess Sadie really thought that I was trying to hurt her, so she told Jasmine, the girl that I already was not messing with, that the whole situation between me and the person in my family. So she told Jasmine the whole situation, and Jasmine told, like, the whole group. So now the whole group's all talking about me and my personal shit. And I don't have no friends. And I'm going through stuff already at home. And I didn't even want to be here at that point. So I'm like, what the freak? So I really was hella mad, right? So mad. And no, for like a whole week, no one still talked to me. They're acting like they hated me. So I was like, okay, you know what? The only person that was talking to me, even checking on me at all, when I was literally just crying every day, like literally depressed. And I already had stuff to go through. Like, it was horrible. And I didn't want to be here at all. And the only person that would even keep messaging me is Joe. Lord. So, I'm so stupid. So Joe obviously knew I was vulnerable at the time. He knew everything had happened. Obviously, when that first happened, I messaged him right away, mad as hell. Like, why would you do that? She's seen it. Like, we never even had this agreement that we were, like, together. Nothing like that. So I was mad as hell, right? So I didn't talk to him either, but I had no one. But he would consecutively message me, see if I'm okay, whatever, right? So I was like, alright, since I don't have no one on this earth, I might as well respond to Joe. So I was responding to Joe, and then I realized that, you know what, maybe it's not Joe that's the issue. Maybe, like, I really don't have no friends, and I just felt really lonely. So I was like, okay, since all my friends already betrayed me, I might as well turn to the one person that's hitting me up. So now, me and Joe were together.
Excuse me,
and Joe were together, right? Alright. So, me and Joe's relationship, everything starts out smooth, whatever. I thought it was cool because I had no one, but he was like acting so nice. Like, he would buy me gum every week. Like, I used to chew gum because like I have anxiety, so it used to help me like not be nervous because I hated high school. So obviously, because I had no friends, and I would chew gum every day. So he would buy me like a pack of gum every day. So I was like lit. I was like, not every day, like, you know, whenever I ran out. So I was like lit. I always have gum. I started making friends in one of my other classes with my girl Cece, and that's her real name, and Cece's still my friend to this day. So I was like, okay, we're getting through it, whatever. And I also had my cousin going to that school too, so Sammy. So that's my dog. But yeah, besides, obviously they didn't have my lunch or nothing. Cece, that fucking hoe, bro, she left after 4th period because she was like a senior when I was a junior. So I was like, bitch, I was mad. She would be gone by lunch, so I had no one at lunch. And then my cousin didn't have my lunch or anything, and she was like younger than me. So he was like being very nice, so I started hanging out with him at lunch, and he became like my only friend at the school. And at that time, my mom was like very strict, but I was like a junior, so my mom like didn't really let me have a boyfriend, but she like kind of let me hang out with boys if it was like supervised and in the living room and yada yada yada. But my mom worked at my school, so she got to really know Joe, since me and Joe were together all the time. So she thought it was cool or whatever, so we started hanging out a lot. He would come over, and I was really like, I was like, it's cool, like this is a good relationship. It was like, it was going like decent, so I was like, maybe it turned out okay. And he like would write me. I remember one time he wrote me, he bought note cards for every day of like 3 months and wrote me a note that I would wake up to every month. Like, it was really some like the Notebook shit, Romeo shit, bro. Like, he was really on that shit for like a cool minute, right? So then one day I go to Joe's house, right? And I don't know why, because I guess I was crazy. I'm not saying I'm not still crazy, I'm just playing. But so he left the room to go do something, and his phone was there, and I was like, okay, no one would really be talking to him because everyone sees me with him 24/7, right? So I didn't think really he would do that, and he's always talking to me and stuff. So I was like, probably nothing, but I'ma check, right? So I go through his phone, I see nothing. I'm scrolling, I see nothing. I go to Twitter, right? I go to his Twitter messages. I see messages from this girl that's like girls and guys, I guess. But she's like in the student, it's called, I'm not gonna say what she's in, but she's like a big part of our school. Like, a lot of people knew her or whatever, and she was on like a team like me, but whatever, right? So I see her in his messages, right? And they're messaging each other back and forth. I'm not gonna get into the details of the messages, but it's like some nasty, bro. And this girl is like, I don't know. I just didn't expect nothing like that from her either. So I was just like, what the fuck? And he was talking about, oh, I'm gonna come over or something like that. And then she was talking about like, oh, my dog, if my dog barks, do this and that. Like, they were really planning for this scheming ass nigga that I really let this whole contraption fall and ruin my friendships and my life, bro. Oh, I forgot to tell you when I broke up with Bob. I broke up with Bob like in the beginning of my junior year because I just realized like I didn't want to keep him around, like, if we weren't, you know, clicking, and like yeah, it just didn't work between me and Bob. He was younger than me, and I was just like, whatever. So I was done obviously, if I was with Joe now. So, so I see these messages and they're messaging back and forth like he planned to go to her house, bro. So I'm like, what the F? He comes back in. I'm just standing there like, bruh. And he comes in and he's just acting all normal like, I love you, you know? So then I'm just like, what the fuck? So I have the messages and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's all like, oh, nothing, like this didn't really happen. I just talked to her because she been trying to talk to me, yada yada yada, yada yada yada, like bullshit, right? So I call someone to pick me up because I'm at his house. And obviously I didn't drive because I was young at this time. So they come and get me and I'm just like, I'm done with you, period. Like, you were beep, 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 you know, I'm out here on his head. So I'm like, I'm never gonna be with you again. But obviously I go back to school and I try to like be on my own, whatever. I have no friends, like no one around, like to be there for, like, so I just feel alone as hell even more because now I don't even have Joe, right? But then Joe keeps messaging me, whatever, and I'm ignoring him. So finally, Joe gets the girl that he was messaging to message me. And she's messaging me like, oh, nothing happened. It was my fault. Yeah, like, I don't know. She's acting like maybe she didn't know we were together or something like that. I don't know. It was hella weird. At the time now, I would have just been like, but back then, like I said, I was hella vulnerable. So he gets her to talk to me and they convince me nothing happened, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so then the next incident, Joe, I'm gonna try to go through it fast because I know this is already a long video. Yeah, Joe ends up sending pictures of his thing to some girl on my team. It was like at a time we were arguing or something. Maybe we said we weren't together. You know how that happens for like a couple days or something because we got in an argument maybe. But no, we was like still together and he sent a picture. He was sending news to her, bro. I don't know if she sent nothing back. I did throughout the time. Also, I'm just gonna throw it in there because I don't even know what time frame. Seeing some girls sending him pictures and I was like, but he would just act like, oh, they just sent it to me, but I doubt it because they don't seem like people that would, but you never know, you know, you never know. But he was sending that to her, bro. He was sending that to her, like his, oh my gosh. So there's all these stories. I tried to break up with him so many times, right? Try to break up with him. He would do crazy shit, like punch shit. Like one time he punched, there's like this metal gate of our school. He punched the shit out of that. His knuckles were all gushing. Like he was starting to turn, you know. Every time I would try to break up with him, and I didn't really have any friends or no one to talk about this, so it was just not good. And at the time too, I was hanging out with him at lunch and this group of girls started like bullying me. She thought this like little girl, not little girl, but she wasn't little, but she was like a buff, like ghetto, I don't know, whatever. But she was tried to say that my hair was fake and that I was looking at her boyfriend because her boyfriend tried to come up and say something to me during passing period. So every day at lunch, she tried to come up to me with her little group of friends and like talk shit to me and whatever. And it was like very annoying because it was just very annoying. And like, but he would be there, so I was like, okay, and he would kind of have my back, so I was like, whatever. So sometimes I would get talked into being with him, like after the whole picture thing, he convinced me it's because we're not together, so I got back with him, and then after the whole seeing the messages thing, I got back with him, whatever. So he does, I forgot what he did. Oh my gosh, there was this whole scandal going around that he sent his thing to a gay dude. So then that's when I drew the line. I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, you're really just a horn dog. You're out here sending your thingy thing to everybody in the whole motherfucking school. Like, I was probably like the laughing stock of the whole school being with this nigga now, and everyone seen his little thingy thing. So I was like, I'm done with you, right? So I remember I was trying to be done with him. I was hanging out with this one girl named Alina. I started to have her as a friend, so she was really cool. Oh my gosh, there's a story about, never mind, but hopefully we're still cool now. If you're watching this, doubt it, but her, so she was my friend at the time. So I was like, okay, whatever, trying to brush into the side and just be like done with the situation. So tell me why. One day, I don't remember what break it was, at 3 in the morning, he calls me on FaceTime, and I'm like, what the hell? So I don't answer. He keeps calling me, and I finally answer, because it's like late at night, and he has a knife. I think it was a knife, bro, knives or something, and he's just like crying, and he's just like, I'ma do it right here on FaceTime, like, I'm done, I'ma kill myself. And he's like in the pitch black dark, like curled up in a ball on his bed with like knives with me on FaceTime, just like, I'ma do it, I'ma kill. Like, it was the nuttiest shit ever. Like, if you don't be with me, like some movie shit for real. So I was like, what the fuck? So then I just kind of tried talking through that situation, like, because he was really acting whacked out, y'all. Like, I never seen no one act like this. So I was like, okay. And he started saying this and this happened at home. And he started telling me more shit that's happening at his home. Now he's really going to kill himself. All he had was me. Yada, yada, yada. You know what people be saying. So, I just was like, okay, one more time, I guess I'll try. But at first I was just telling him that because I wanted him to not kill himself. But then I started going back to school, and I still had the problems with the girls, and I still really didn't have that much friends. So I was like, because Alina would like hang out with like a lot of people, so like she wouldn't just hang out with me at lunch. So sometimes I'll be alone, you know. So I'll be like, okay, whatever, I'll just try again. Alright, to make a long story short, there have been multiple times like that where he tried to threaten me with his life or threaten me with different things. That was crazy. One time he like sped in his car hella fast and like almost killed me. And he became his ding-a-ling picture that got sent out ended up getting leaked on Twitter. Everyone seen it. I tried to break up with him so many times, and it finally kind of worked, and I got back to being friends with Sadie because I tried to explain the whole situation to her, but things weren't really the same. But now we're still friends and we're good back. When we first were friends, things weren't really the same. So I started kind of being friends with her again, and we made it up. So I was like, this dude is weird, right? That's when I finally realized he's just weird, right? And I realized all the toxic stuff he put me through, crying and feeling like I'm not enough when I already like was going through so much, and all the other people he was trying to talk to, like, and it'll be like young, some of them are like young, way in lower grades than us, like, I don't know. So he was just weird. But to make a long story short, like I said, his thing got exposed on Twitter. I remember the senior prank people put on our building walls, like, Joe has a little peepee, because I guess the dude he sent his thing to exposed him. But for some reason, people kept linking me and him together because we were together for like 2 years. So on Twitter, they would like say, oh, Skylar likes Joe's little peepee. That was like somewhere on our school. They put it in chalk. I don't know what they used for the senior prank, and put it on Twitter. So again, I was the laughing stock, but whatever. But he was more the laughing stock because everyone seen his thing and it was embarrassing. But yeah, so that was basically the story of my toxic relationship. It kept going kind of longer till all the way the day of my signing day, when I was like getting a scholarship for soccer. For some reason, he decided to show up to my signing day, my senior year, at the end, just to tell me that he finally is over me and he found another girl. It was the weirdest shit ever. He like pulled me to the side. It was supposed to be like a happy day for me, and it was before like my game, and I just signed my letter for my scholarship for soccer, and he just pulled me to the side and was like, I can't, I'm done liking you, I like this new person. It was literally the weirdest thing ever. But all the way through junior and senior year, he would send me things like, oh, I'm trying to be with this person, like, and be like, oh, I didn't mean to send you it, it was an accident, like weird shit like that. And at like grad night or something, he would be like, he was sitting close to me, and I knew he was purposely trying to talk loud, like, oh, these girls were twerking on, and he was just very, very weird. He turned out very weird, very psychotic, tore me and my friends apart for a while. I had no friends for a while. It's like crying every day. All that over this stupid ass relationship. The school exposed me, exposed him, the whole school, and yeah. So that's basically the story of the toxic relationship. Even now to this day, he still tries to talk to, you know, my little cousin. Yeah, now he tries to talk to my little cousin all the time even, and everybody else. And senior year, he tried to even talk to Sadie again. That's how thirsty he is. But yeah, now I was with this person for 2 years. Super sad. I guess we all could just get played in. But whatever, I'm moving on. And now I'm a boss bee, period. And I ain't gonna let no shit like that happen again. At least I'ma try. Because if anyone plays me, I'ma kill them. Especially if they play me like that. I'm just playing. But alright, Lost Gang, if you want more stories like this, if you want another story time, like I asked you guys if you wanted this or the story of when I moved to Vegas at 17 for college, if you want that story, I could give it to you. Or whatever else you guys want, comment down below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you watch this whole video to the end, comment heart eyes down below, and you might get a shout out on my next video. Peace. Peace.